It's official, I'm a dad. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about the final steps of the surrogacy process that we had to go through so we could meet our beautiful baby girl. Here we go. Hey guys, what's up? Austin here with another video about becoming a successful stay-at-home dad. On this channel, we talk about new parenthood, making money from home, and everything you can do right now to become a successful stay-at-home parent. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as always, I'll link everything we talk about in the description below. Let's get into it. In the last video, I showed you our Instagram secret gender reveal, and if you haven't gotten a chance to go watch it, check it out. I'll link it here for you. But we did some secret clues hidden in our Instagram stories and it was super fun. So go check it out. But guys, literally a month after we did our gender reveal, it was our baby's due date. So we had to prepare to fly across the country to pick up our daughter. So we booked an Airbnb, we booked our flights, and we did everything we could to prepare for our travel across the country. Now, as I'm sure all of you guys are aware, COVID is going on, so we needed to take extra precautions just to make sure we were super safe, especially with introducing a new member to our family. So there was a bit of change in plans. We had thought we had a full month to get ready and prepare, but our surrogate actually had to be induced, so we only had 2 weeks to get ready. So we ended up buying last-minute flights, and we flew across the country. And my mom came with us, so thanks, Mom! Once we got to our destination, we had a cute little Airbnb that we stayed at. And our surrogate actually came over and hung out with us a couple nights before she had to go in and get induced. It was really great to hang out with her while she was carrying our child and just to feel the baby bump and feel our little bean kick. It was super cute and such a great experience. We did get some unfortunate news though. We were told that due to COVID, we wouldn't be allowed to go into the hospital, and that our surrogate would only be allowed to bring one person with her. She wanted to bring her husband, which was totally understandable, but we did feel a little sad that we were going to miss out on this important moment in our child's life. On the day that our surrogate did get induced, she managed to talk to one of the nurses that were there and explain our situation. She was disappointed that the surrogate dads couldn't be there for their child's birth and that this isn't normally how it goes. It was great that she talked to the nurse on our behalf, and that was so nice of her to do. And it actually turned out so great. That nurse talked to the other nurses on her unit, and they all agreed that we should be there for the birth. Stefan and I were sitting at home watching some Netflix with my mom. We were eating a pizza. We were not expecting to get the phone call that we did.
Hello, Gumball speaking.
But we got the call, and it was actually her telling us that we were allowed to go into the hospital. Guys, this was so exciting because it was something that we didn't expect, and we had already accepted the fact that we wouldn't be able to be there. So this came as a shock and just such a great surprise. We finished off our slices of pizza, packed a night bag, and hopped in our vehicle, and we were on our way to the hospital as soon as we could. So we got to the hospital, got our masks on, and we met the surrogate's husband, who took us to the room that our surrogate was in. Once we were there, we hung out with our surrogate and her husband and just talked and chatted for probably a good 2 hours before the doctors showed up and induced our surrogate. Now, we had no idea what being induced meant. I'm not sure if you guys do, but her induction was the doctor physically breaking her water. And guys, once that happened, the labor started. It was so important for us to be there during the labor. It made us feel such strong emotions for our surrogate, who was going through all this pain so we could have a child of our own. If we had missed it, we wouldn't have known any better. But now that we've seen it, it's not something I would ever want to miss again. Just the miracle of life, and as corny as that sounds, it's honestly such a miracle. Just experiencing it and seeing our daughter being born was so amazing. And the sheer selflessness of our surrogate and all the pain she was going through. Stefan and I were literally holding hands when this was all happening, and we were starting to tear up because we felt so bad that our surrogate was hurting, but also so thankful that she was willing to go through all of this for us so we could have a family. It just meant so much, and it was so eye-opening. Literally 45 minutes after the doctors broke our surrogate's water, she gave birth to our beautiful baby daughter. And I'm just thinking of it now, and it was amazing. It was so awesome to see. The second she came out, the doctors took her over to the scale, and Stefan and I had a bit of a dilemma in that moment. We didn't want to leave our surrogate's side because she was hurting and in pain, but we also really wanted to go see our new baby daughter. Luckily, our surrogate's husband was just the voice of reason. He looked at us right after his wife gave birth and was like, "Guys, what are you doing? Get over here. Come on. Take out your phones, take some pictures. This is your daughter. You want to remember this forever." And I'm so grateful that he guided us to do that because it was a moment that we definitely didn't want to miss. The first thing the nurses asked us was if we had a name for her. Not many people know this, but the first name we had picked for her was Sophia. But she came out and she didn't really look like a Sophia, so we were on the fence and we weren't sure. But we did have this long-standing joke that we were gonna name her Sniper Wolf. Don't ask me where it came from. It's just something that's been silly and we've been kicking it around. So when the nurses asked, we jokingly said Sniper Wolf. 3 of them just turned and just glared at us and were not having any of it. So it couldn't have been more than 20 minutes later, and there was a name on our list that just jumped out to me. Now I should let you guys know that the way we decided to go about choosing a name was Stefan made a list, I made a list, and then we went through each other's lists and kind of vetoed names and chose names we liked. Which I think is pretty typical of most couples. I think that's the way you do it. And we wanted to go in with multiple names, which was a good thing that we did. So the name that we ended up coming up with was Maya. M-A-Y-A. It was a name that we both liked, so it worked out perfect, and that's our daughter's name. Also, fun fact, Maya was born on National Donut Day. If you don't know me, guys, I love donuts. So we were also contemplating with calling her Sprinkles, or Long John, or maybe Boston Cream, but we decided against those. After the birth, we stayed for 2 nights in the hospital. And while we were there, our surrogate, she's such an angel, she offered to breastfeed Maya, which is great because there's this thing called colostrum, which is nutrient-dense milk that the mother produces the first couple weeks after the birth. Now, our surrogate was in a separate room than us, but she was willing to wake up every 2 hours and feed Maya. We just can't thank her enough. During the first night, Maya made the most cute noises. They were kind of like a wheezing, but like a cute wheezing, not in a weird or scary way. I have a video, I'll play it here for you. Doesn't that just melt your heart? Like, still watching it to this day. It was just the cutest thing ever. Once we finished up at the hospital, we headed back to our Airbnb. Now, before we could get on a flight and head back home, we actually had to stay in the area for 7 days. This is a requirement by the airlines that your baby is at least a week old before they fly. We were super grateful to have my mom there with us. She really helped out with the newborn, especially with us being inexperienced and her having raised 4 kids of her own. It was great to draw on that experience, and there were a couple times where we were knocking on her door because we had no idea what to do. Like her first projectile poop. Yeah, it happens. And when her belly button started to fall off. So it was just great to have someone there who could help us out. Thanks, Mom! Our egg donor also came for a visit, and it was just so great to be able to let her meet Maya. She played such a large role in creating our family as well. It's just a bond that we're gonna have for a lifetime, and it was so awesome of her and her husband to come and visit us. I think we need an intermission of just cute baby photos because I need to show off Maya. She's so freaking adorable. Guys, cuddle alert. Here are some photos.
Burrito transport.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna go straight
Burrito. Once our 7 days were up, we headed to the airport to fly back home. And again, we were super careful with COVID, especially with having a newborn. You can't really put a mask on a newborn, so we just made sure that her car seat was always covered and we were keeping her safe and away from people. So one thing we didn't realize is that the services on the airplane, they don't serve hot water. So there would be no way for us to make formula for Maya. Luckily, we talked to one of the flight attendants beforehand and they told us this. And my mom was thinking ahead and she brought a thermos. So what we did is we ended up filling up that thermos with hot water from one of the coffee shops, and we brought that hot water with us on the flight so we were able to make formula. So pro tip for anyone out there who's flying with a newborn that will need food, just make sure you bring some hot water with you so you don't run into any issues. On the flight, there was an empty seat between all of us, so that was super nice for us to just keep Maya safe and away from people, and the flight went really well. She's honestly such a great baby. We're just so happy to have her in our lives. So guys, that's it, that's all. That is the final step in the surrogacy process, and we were so fortunate to be able to be there for Maya's birth. Question of the day, would you fly with a newborn during COVID? And if you did fly with a newborn, what would you do to keep them protected? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't checked out the first 2 videos on the surrogacy process, go check them out now, and if you have any questions at all, just leave them in the comment section. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. I'm going to get another one out to you really soon about our day-to-day life and how having a baby has made things way crazier. It's called brainstorming, guys.